carburetor, however you spell it, distributor, plugs, wires, cast iron manifolds, or are we running headers? Oh yeah, tires. Yeah, that's going to be cheap. That's a fairly comprehensive list. Hey, it's Freeman with another extra video for you. I'm standing next to the 1956 Tri-Five Chevy project car, and I need to figure out what parts we need to get this thing back on the road. I thought maybe you'd want to give me a hand. Or just float there as a floating head and just watch me figure it out. Okay, so let's get something to write with, because we need to figure out what do we need to drive the car, not to finish it. You know, we're not going to spend any time on overanalyzing the whole thing and writing down, oh, this little tiny clip, reproduction trunk mat. So in this bag here is reproduction grease caps that fit these applications, some little clutch linkage doodads. In here, an original used set of hubcaps for this car. By the time you're watching this video, these already might be on the car. You just got to keep up with the videos on both channels. And then in this big, huge, heavy box is what is in here? A pressure plate, clutch, flywheel bolts. This is the flywheel bolts we have. Well, you're not going to be able to see them because the bell housing's on. I guess I could have told you that. There's no clutch or anything on the back of the engine. But there are flex plate bolts, because there was a flex plate on this engine when we got it. So I had to get different bolts. You need longer ones for a flywheel. It's possible there's some other goodies in that big box. I don't remember. I'll have to find that out, but first let's just get on a list here of what we can see and think of. So let's see here. So we know we need drive shaft, and that's going to include U-joints, because we'll do a junkyard drive shaft. We'll try to find one for a Tri-Five, which that's going to get really interesting too, because we're running a factory Tri-Five cast iron bell housing, not aluminum. A Saginaw 4-speed, which was not available when this car was built, the stock rear end, and we're going to find a stock Tri-Five drive shaft to begin with, and it's possible that the length will work out good for us, or it might need to be lengthened or shortened a half an inch or an inch. So we're not sure. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and there might be, you know, I said there's some clutch linkage stuff in there, and there's clutch linkage pieces, original pieces we refurbished that are sitting on the trunk. We might be missing a couple little bushings, but might not be necessary, so we'll just wait on that. I'm not even going to write that down. So we know we need carburetor, however you spell it. We need a distributor. We need plugs. We need wires. We need a water neck, and we got to figure out, well, we'll get a factory Tri-Five water neck for a 265 V8, and we will see, yeah, it'll probably work for us. It'll be straight, and then we'll run a straight hose to the radiator, which we have a radiator, but we're going to need radiator hoses, thermostat, fan, belt, and just like everything I drive, there's only one belt. Of course, we don't need any power or anything, but we do need a balancer, but we have one that was sent into the Freeman's Garage P.O. box by a viewer. We might be able to run that. We might not. I'm not 100% sure. We would need to use the pointer that came with it. The pointer that's on this timing chain cover is tack welded on. Well, I don't know, maybe we could cut it off. Well, we'll have to see. The timing cover might have to come off to get the pointer on for that balancer that somebody sent in. And if that were the case, water pump would have to come off, which isn't a big deal. But that combined with, I'm not 100% sure if we want to run a 7-inch or an 8-inch balancer or 6. The big issue is this car came with a 265 that had a smaller balancer than you would see typically run on a later engine such as this, which would be an 8-inch balancer, typically. But typically, your 8-inch balancer is not going to fit if you're using the factory front engine mounts and not the ever so popular later side mounts. Your balancer will hit these mounts Although they kind of do look like they've been hacked on a bit. Not 100% sure. So, I mean, this might already be clearanced for an 8-inch balancer, but I want to use the balancer that was sent into the P.O. box. I really want to use that one. We'll see what happens. Project's close to done and the lists are still massive and expensive. We're not done yet. Let's keep going. Okay, anything? Oh, okay. Oh, fuel pump. Exhaust. Are we running cast iron manifolds or are we running headers? Headers and exhaust. We'll put that together. We only have 4 bolts for our valve covers. You can see there's no bolts in here. We have 4. We need 4 more. So valve cover bolts. Okay, well, with radiator hoses, well, actually, I was going to put heater hose, but I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Oh yeah, tires. Yeah, that's going to be cheap. Front bumper. We don't have a front bumper. I'm not really worried about a front bumper. You don't need a front bumper, but the state that I am currently in and have not moved out of yet, you have to have a front plate and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I don't know where I'm moving. I don't know if you need that either, but either way, we're going to want that. So, to complete the car. Let's see what else. We do need to replace some glass. I'm not even going to write that down on here. Not concerned about it at the moment. Oh, starter. Yeah, we might want one of those. We have all the sheet metal for the front, the radiator support and everything. We have a radiator that I don't think has a leak in it, but we do need to assemble hardware. And we have tail lights. We have our flip down tail light and everything, but we don't have hardware, I don't think. We might have some. I'm just going to write down hardware, tail lights, front sheet metal. And so at some point we're going to have to also figure out what we need for as far as rubber pieces when it comes to mounting the radiator and all those kinds of things. But yeah, we don't need to spend a year trying to detail everything out on paper. We just need just a general guideline. And so I can get a whole bunch of stuff ordered if it's even created, if it's even available for purchase. Of course, distributor, carburetor, all that stuff, I can order out of the catalog right away. We might have to get creative with hoses and whatnot and hardware and just create our own sets of hardware and all those kinds of things all on our own. Oh, shifter. Need one of those. What shifter should we do? Hurst Competition Plus? Well, we're also going to need shift linkage. Yeah, hardware for our grill. We do have a grill in here. Okay, well, that's whatever. I got hardware down. We know what that means. That's a fairly comprehensive list. Well, it's not comprehensive, but it is a little bit. It's enough. So the things that we need to get this engine fired up and running, can get that stuff ordered right away. And then some of the things that are not involved in just getting the car running and cooling, we have that stuff on here. So it'll be kind of a guideline for what's to come next. You know, when we got these wheels and tires, I was hoping that the tires would hold air long enough that we could maybe drive around a little bit, you know, on them, but we might as well just get some brand new tires ordered up because it's not even worth dumping money into all kinds of slime and concoctions or even trying to put plugs in these things. Just, I mean, this one here, the Liberator 2 is really the only one that's a real drag, but it's not worth it. We'll just get some new ones ordered and get them switched out. I also want to swap out these front wheel studs for the same wheel studs we use for the rear of the car because they're longer than these ones. I don't like how short these are, but we'll see. Thanks for coming over to the garage today and helping me out. I appreciate it. It really made everything a lot easier, went a lot faster, and I gave you a lot of suggestions, didn't I, for videos to watch next, didn't I? Yeah, I think you'd like them.